So whenever someone comes to us and says, hey, like I need a new CPA or I need a new accountant, I need somebody to help me with my money. One of the biggest things is we always say, hey, we got to look under the hood first, kind of like a mechanic or like a doctor has to see your x-rays. We need your tax returns and your profit and loss and your balance sheet. That's the only way to make sure that you get good advice is we have to work with solid numbers, right? Imagine if you said to your mechanic, no, let me describe the sound to you over the phone. No, bring the car in. Like, let me see it. A client we have, they're an electrician down in North Carolina. And any electrician or like cleaning company or somebody like in the trades like that, a carpenter, they come to us, say, hey, I need tax help, I need accounting help. This is basically what we would do. We have their 1120S sales. Got to see where they're at, right? If they're making 155,000 like this client, there's going to be different things than if they're making $1 million, right? So we always have to kind of know that. And then of course, after that is, hey, how much money did they make at the end of the day? So down here for this client for 23, we can see that he pulled in, after all expenses, everything, a total of 32,000 in profit basically from his business. So that's where we always start. We always have to see where are they at right now. So that's his return. We also like to take a look at the P&L. So let me switch that over. And so for this client, same thing. So everything seems to match, which is great. If the P&L doesn't match the return, we got a real problem. So 155, we're good there for his revenue. And now what we're looking for is basically just to kind of see where's he spending his money, right? Because maybe there's things he can cut. Maybe there's things that we have to check for. One of the biggest ones, since this guy is an S Corp already, like, okay, let's make sure he's on payroll, right? Legally, he has to. And also, that's one of the benefits of being an S Corp. You get to write off your own wages as the business owner. So we look down here, and sure enough, payroll expenses, good. So officer salary, so he paid himself almost 15,000. So that's perfect. So we need to see that. Payroll taxes are on there, and then salaries and wages is probably going to be for like his staff. Everything else looks pretty good. Since he's an electrician, we know he's got cost of goods sold, such as, like wires, cables, things like that, switches, all that stuff that he puts into homes. Advertising, he started doing that this year, and that was something we talked to him about. Legal and accounting services, well, I guess not legal, but accounting fees, that's us. Woo! He came to us at the end of the year. And if you guys look at this, you're like, oh, you only charge 1,500? No. He came to us at the end of the year when we started. So that is a very light start. Meals looks good. Office, of course. We know that he's advertising. He hands out like flyers and stuff. So that makes sense. Software and apps. He uses House Call Pro, which is a great one for managing like everything when it comes to like maintenance companies or like plumbing, things like that. Everything kind of looks good. Rent, he doesn't really have an office. He works out of his home or on the site. So everything that we know about this person kind of adds up on their P&L and their return. Then of course, at the end of the day, we're looking again. So the income, it matches. So 32,000. Yes, it seems like, oh, he only made 32,000. Well, thankfully he's been paying himself because he's an S Corp. And this guy actually started his company in the middle of 2023. So in like 6 months or maybe 8 months, he made in total sales 155,000. Like, good on him. So I won't say his real name. We'll call him Tony. Shout out to you, Tony. Very good job. We're excited to keep working with you. Any new client that comes to us, these are things that we're looking for on their P&L and their tax return, right? For example, someone comes to us like, I'm an S Corp. Are you? Okay, well, there's no payroll. That's gonna be a problem, right? So we wanna check for those things because then we know when we go into a sales call or when we're gonna meet this person, what they need and kind of where they're at. So those are the things that we are looking for. And working with us, honestly, probably like this person, we told them when you hire that first person, like regularly, and you hit 100,000 in revenue, that's probably the time that you want to look to like hire an accountant or like CPA to handle your stuff, and then hopefully you continue to grow because we're going to help you find the holes. Maybe it's in payroll, like we talked about. Maybe you have a bunch of expenses that, hey, your advertising is like way too high. Like it's not really bringing stuff in. For this video, we did not include the 1040 for this person, their individual return. We can save that for another video because we would obviously look at that too. And the same thing with the balance sheet. So this is basically just kind of the start of where we would go. So anyone who comes to us, new clients, this is what we ask of you because it's the only way that we can see where you're at, and it's the only way for you to get like good advice. What do you need to do for the next 6 months or year. That's one of the biggest things is we want to look forward, not just look backwards at last year. It's like, where are you going? How are you growing? And what can we do to basically help you get there? Seeing the tax return and like the P&L beforehand, it helps so much because then it's real as opposed to just guessing on what somebody said. Because most people are always like, oh, you actually looked at my business. Yeah, like if we're gonna help you, like we need to know where you're at.